Well, after nearly a week of driving, Canadian truckers have arrived in Ottawa. Check this out. Thousands upon thousands of people have gathered to protest vaccine mandates for truckers and just in general. So one thing, when I was on Rising and I did my radar on this, I forgot to mention that the truckers are not only protesting mandates that are the cross-border mandates. What's going on is the United States doesn't allow Canadian truckers that are unvaccinated to cross into the United States, and vice versa. If you're a U.S. trucker, you're not able to cross into Canada without being fully vaccinated. And the Canadians, and also if you are a Canadian, you can go back into Canada unvaccinated, but you have to quarantine for 14 days. So the truckers are protesting those cross-border mandates, but they're also protesting general Canadian mandates. So like in Canada, for example, you can't get on a plane unless you are fully vaccinated. So you cannot fly even domestically without being fully vaccinated in Canada. And the truckers are standing up for the rights and freedom of all people. And look at this, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people have descended onto the nation's capital. And there are reports that people are even protesting still in other cities as well in solidarity with all of the people that have trekked their way across the country and made it to the nation's capital. And look at all these people, and they're being called fringe. I mean, these people do not look fringe or look like neo-Nazis or alt-right or whatever the media wants to paint them as. These are people that are protesting for freedom. They're protesting for choice, and yet they're being considered somehow authoritarian and Trumpists. It doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. Now, Justin Trudeau, who is the one that they're trying to pressure, right? They want him to actually drop the mandates and him to say, look, it's time to allow you the personal choice. 'Cause Trudeau has said that the reason why they're doing all of these mandates is because they're trying to stop the spread of the virus. He says that the best way to stop the spread of the virus is through vaccination. If you're vaccinated, according to Trudeau and their mandate reasoning, then you're not going to get the virus, or you're not as likely to get the virus. And guess what's happened? Oh, yes, as of today, Justin Trudeau came out saying he's vaccinated, he's boosted, he has COVID. So I don't know how he's going to keep up with this idea that the vaccine stopped the spread when there he is boosted and he has COVID. So he is now hiding. They actually were hiding Justin Trudeau and his family away before the convoy got to Ottawa. They decided to put them in a secret location for safety reasons because they're trying to paint these truckers as some sort of violent, they're trying to say that this is another iteration of January 6th, that this is a hostile force coming to take over. These are separatists coming to, cause harm to Canada. I mean, just absolute nonsense. Just a way to just trying to delegitimize the protest. So Justin Trudeau and his family was already whisked away into a private location, but now they're whisked away in a private location and isolating because Justin Trudeau has COVID. Now, his wife had COVID early on in March of 2020, but now Justin Trudeau has it. So, Trudeau also had called the convoy a small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa, who hold unacceptable views and do not represent the views of Canadians who follow the science. So, yeah, only in today's world do we live in an era where working people, the working class people, thousands of working people can go and protest the government for freedom and to lift medical mandates on them, mandates that require them to take a medication in order for them to keep their jobs or go to school or just enjoy life. People are saying to the government, this is overreach. We don't want these mandates. We want freedom. We want bodily autonomy and choice, medical consent, all of these things. And that is considered fascist authoritarianism. Yeah. We live in a backwards world. I don't know. I guess I don't know the meaning of words anymore. And I feel like that's kind of what's been going on for a lot of different words and a lot of different things is we just don't know what does that even mean anymore? A word that you thought you knew what the meaning of that word was. Suddenly you don't. And that's kind of what's going on here with what authoritarianism is supposed to mean. Now, Ottawa police are telling downtown workers that they should be working from home today. They're also saying that schools should be closed and that they should be going and studying remotely, all due to the convoy. And they're asking residents to leave the area until they can get the truckers to leave. Well, the truckers say they're not leaving. They're not going to leave until the mandates are lifted. They're prepared to protest. They have raised $10 million in GoFundMe donations, $10 million. And this is supposedly fringe. Nobody's paying attention to this. This is not the majority. They have raised $10 million. And now what's crazy about this is the Ottawa city councilor is actually moving for legal action to seize the nearly $10 million from the convoy. They're saying that they're going to put it in they're going to use it to put it in the city coffers, I guess, to what they say pay for the nuisance that this protest is costing the Canadian taxpayers. So now this tweet has since been deleted. This was actually put out by let's see, his name's Matthew Fleury. And Matthew Fleury is the Ottawa City Councillor of, I'm not going to say this right, Rideau Vanier Ward. And he announced this out. He tweeted out, "This morning I have asked the city manager and city solicitor to immediately launch court proceedings targeting the millions of dollars in funds frozen by GoFundMe so Ottawa taxpayers are not left holding the bag for these protests." He has since deleted this tweet, but wow. So all of us have given money. Many people have given money to this convoy, and now the Canadian government wants to take the money that people have donated to this convoy to keep the protests going and says, no, we're going to use it against the protesters instead. Wow. And once again, here we are with them saying that, no, it's the truckers who are authoritarian. That's who's authoritarian. So what's gone on with the GoFundMe page is that GoFundMe has seized the funds. They're not releasing the funds to the trucking convoy until the convoy can provide a framework of distribution for all of this money. So GoFundMe doesn't want to see, at least they're claiming what they don't want is they don't want to have a scenario where all of this money is raised and then whoever set up the account can withdraw the money and they're a millionaire. They're claiming that they want to make sure that the money goes to where they claim the money is supposed to go, which is okay, fair enough. So as long as that's the truth. So as long as they're not seizing the money and holding on to it until the government can figure out a way to get their grubby little hands on it. But GoFundMe says, no, if you just provide a framework and, accounting and all of this. So the convoy has said that they've hired a team of lawyers and accountants to handle all of that. And that money should be going to the convoy to ensure that the protest can continue for as long as it needs to continue until Justin Trudeau drops the mandates. Justin Trudeau, though, seems kind of like a smug SOB, right? I mean, I don't know if he's going to be dropping these mandates. He seems like he would double down, maybe triple down. Even he has COVID. He's triple vaccinated with COVID. I don't see him saying, okay, fine, I give in. I think it's going to have to take a total collapse of the Canadian economy or some real severe consequences from this convoy. And he's hoping that the Canadian people turn against this convoy, turn against these people. But, I'm not sure that's happening. More and more people, as they see the nonsense in these government mandates, might join in on all of this. As been reported many times before, most of these truckers are vaccinated. This is not an anti-vax protest. This is an anti-mandate protest. So we'll see if Justin Trudeau actually backs down and actually says, okay, we're going to drop some of these mandates and try to return back to normal. The thing is that everybody wants a win, right? So what we're seeing right now with Omicron is it's given these governments, it's given leaders sort of an out. It's a scapegoat. They're able to say, well, it was because of Omicron, the vaccines aren't working so well. So therefore, there's no real reason to have these mandates anymore because of Omicron. The reality was, we knew from the data that the vaccines were not halting the spread of even Delta after a certain amount of time. So after about 12 weeks, 3 to 4 months, you're back at square one when it comes to transmissibility. Now, it was a bit different when it comes to hospitalizations and deaths, but for transmissibility, 4 months is about as long as that vaccine lasts. We know now with the booster that it only lasts about 2 months for halting the transmissibility. That is data that has been put out that was discussed with the CDC when they were trying to make their decisions on whether or not to give kids the booster, to authorize or to recommend boosters for kids. So, it's given all of these governments an out. When cases start to trend downward, governments start to say, well, okay, we no longer need these mandates. We can lift restrictions because cases are coming down. So they're not going to acquiesce to this convoy. They're not going to acquiesce to protesters because the government wants to They want to be strong. They want to be powerful. They don't want to set the precedent that if the people rise up and protest, they have to actually do what the people say. No, they wouldn't want to set that precedent, would they? So they're instead going to wait for the case numbers to go down. They're going to instead wait for something else to shift that they can point to and say, that's the reason, not because of you. It's because of that. So we'll see what happens with this. But I will keep you posted with the trucking convoy and these mandate protests that are going on in Canada. It's amazing. And these protests are starting to become contagious around the world. People around the world are actually in Holland. I know that there's a trucking convoy that is kind of being put together there. There's other ones that are happening as well. So I will keep you posted on those, because this could be setting a trend all around Europe and even maybe here in the United States of how to defeat the mandates. It could come down to the supply chain workers protesting and halting the supply chain. One last thing I want to leave you with. Here's one of the truckers when he was asked why or how long he intends to protest for. This is what he had to say.
Why did you feel it was important to come to the event?
Because I want to fight for the freedoms of Canada and my grandchildren and my kids.
All right, and how long do you plan on staying?
I plan on staying until it's over. Until Justin resigns, all mandates are lifted.
All right, and what would you say to Trudeau if he was here right now?
I would ask him if he's going to listen to the people and let the people have a choice, because we don't have a choice in his legislation.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to add?
Freedom!
Freedom! Yes, such a fascist authoritarian there, protesting for freedom. All right, guys, I will keep you posted with this trucking convoy and keep you updated on what is happening and all of the latest. So definitely be sure to check back here for more of those updates. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Keep this channel going. I know it's been a while since I've posted, but here I am. I'm back, and I'm going to be posting more regularly from now on. Also, if you'd like to support this channel, you can join my locals community. That is where you get behind-the-scenes looks. I also do casual live streams, Zoom meetings I'm going to be launching here pretty soon, where we can interact and have kind of happy hours with one another. We need some happy hours, right? We need happy hours during this crazy time and that we're going through. So be sure to join my locals community. That link is down below. Thank you so much for watching.